Our book, How to Play Doubles, can only be found on our website. Check it out. Someone asked me about how to hit the forehand, and we're talking about what does the hand do when you're playing. So I did a montage of all these pro picks, and we're going to discuss how the forehand varies, what they do, and what you should do. What's happening with the racket hand specifically? Like, what are they doing with their hand on the racket? Look at the prep. He sets up sort of high, but he sets up with the racket pointing to the right. I want to explore this later in another video, because I had a discussion about this with someone. But a lot of people like to set the racket up, and when you emulate this as a player, you gotta realize what they're doing is they're holding the racket in their hand, they're turning their shoulder with the racket really close to their body. Then they drop their frame and do that, and hit impact in front as they rotate their shoulder. But what we're focusing on is what is the hand doing after impact, before impact. And you'll see the impact is very square right there. The ball is actually leaving the racket in the picture, but as you watch the follow through, cover the ball. And that's what I mean. You're gonna have this impact and you're gonna have this follow through. So going up and over and going across his body like that. I don't like these swings because I think it's bad for your wrist. And I got wrist problems, but my wrist problems started from something else. But I think as long as you lift weights and you strengthen that area of your arm, you'll be okay, unless you play a lot. On the higher ball, this looks rather awkward. The setup's the same. The ball is really high. He is warming up, and so I think he's playing at like half speed. But what happens is there's impact right there, and see that they kind of a weird kind of follow through over the top. There's a little lift with the legs. It's really hard to time an impact like this when you're only using your hand. I don't like what I call a wristy shot, because the head of the racket must flick over the ball, and you gotta do this over and over again. And to get tired, it's hard to do it over and over again. Right there. That's hard to do over and over again. And so I would prefer more of a normal follow through, but then you wouldn't have to spin. See that follow through right there? Can you time that impact all the time? I think it would be better to hit the ball lower and hit it flatter. But I'm not a pro. So you swipe across. It seems to be important. The racket has to cover the ball. When we say cover the ball, we mean make impact and come over the top of the ball. That gives it that nasty spin. The hardest part too when you're emulating pros or copying pros is pros are built differently. One he's really tall. He has a high prep, tall, gangly guy with muscles, but he's tall and gangly. Unless your player is similar or you're similar to his physique, it's hard to hit that kind of a forehand. I don't see many short Japanese guys hitting forehands like me, but anyway. But he has this high prep with the shoulder rotating right there. Big backswing, but he played a lot of clay. And another thing too, most pros played when they're kids on a different surface, in a different country, in a different situation. So as a player, when you think about what surface are you playing on, he has a big backswing. There's a racket head lag right there as he rotates a shot. But this looks like a pretty basic forehand. Watch it make impact and comes right through the shot like that. And it goes across the body, nice and easy. I like this forehand. Not a lot of wrist action, easy to do, but he's really tall and thin. And so with that high prep and the hand going across with a big backswing, it might not translate well to other surfaces. This is a very fast surface they're playing on. For Dasco, Has a very interesting forehand that isn't really noticeable until you slow it down. The high prep by the shoulders, great shoulder turn, great legs, but he is a very muscular guy. It'd be tough to do this. And the reason he's so muscular, and it affects the way he hits the ball, or it might be a byproduct. It might go both ways, because he'll make impact and drop the racket head. The racket goes straight back right there. It looks like Monfils' forehand. And remember, he grew up in clay also. The racket's very straight back, shoulders start to open. But watch what he does right before he makes impact with the ball. He drops the head. That's hard to do. And he pulls it across his body. To have that timing where you set up with the racket and then you drop the head below the racket head and put the racket across the ball. I like it because it's just right through the shot. Monfils and Verdasco go right through the shot. There's no massive hand-wrist action going on. Okay? But to do that timing, to drop the head and flip it over and be physically strong, not a lot of body weight into that ball in that shot. You know, weight going to the left of the shot. This is funny because he actually grew up in Michigan. The prep's by his head. He has a huge swing, and I don't see why he has a huge swing like this. And he brings the racket really forward. He's very athletic. Racket points a little bit to the left, but it's a big swing. And it's high, and he has a lot of hand action. Donald's not really big or huge or muscular, but you gotta have a lot of talent to hit the ball this way. I think the reason he hits like this is he grew up in Michigan, played a lot of indoor court, perfect conditions. Because with that big backswing, there's a lot of hand action right there. That's the hard part. This looks normal, and then right there, to lag the head behind the racket, and then it drops slightly below the head and comes right through the shot and brings it forward. A lot of hand action there. Hard to do that as a player. People tell me they want to play like the pros, but the pros are very talented, so it's difficult to do what they do. And see that wrist coming over the top like that? See that hand right there? That'd be hard on your body to do over and over again. So, yeah, unless you're playing indoor a lot, and the positions are perfect, and the ball will stay where it's supposed to stay, but if you're playing outdoor with wind, clay, funny bounce, grass, funny bounce, it'd be hard to play like this. So, you don't want to have that big a swing, but it's interesting to see it. But I like the way he comes forward on the ball. Fast court again. This is off the return, though. It doesn't count. And I just wanted to show you because it's a high prep, but there's a short backswing. And I think it's because it's a return. Because when you watch his normal ground stroke, he has a much larger backswing. Bridge is amazing because he never stands up. Look at his knees. Always bent. Tall guy. He has a very high prep where he strikes the ball. Very good feet. Very good discipline. His knees never lock up. And that makes it really important for him because he's very tall. Gets the racket back. It's a big backswing now. And he has all his weight in his back foot. And he's going to hit this ball. And there's no weight transfer coming forward because he's on the run. But he's big and strong. But look, it's a big backswing. But watch the hand action. Contact in front. But the follow through is the amazing part. It'd be very difficult to do this over and over again. You got to be really talented to have this kind of timing. Watch it. Right there. That's hard to do. And that gives it that spin. He is playing on an extremely fast court. What I like about him is his legs. How he stays down the shot with knees bent. But the hand action there is very difficult to do. His racket comes through the ball very well, but it comes over very drastically. Very difficult to do. I think the pros are good to watch and take different parts. Take his feet, how he stays low, but to make the impact in front, but to do this hand thing, very difficult. So, what have we learned? Make impact, cover the ball, get the spin. And you want to have a swing that's comfortable for you. The prep helps you set up. Should be through the ball when you make impact without a lot of hand action. So you can do it over and over. But what you have to do is practice and see what works for you, because tennis is very specific to your body type, to your movement, to your strength, and to what you can do. And so you want to take what the pros do, and you want to find what you can do over and over again, even when you're tired. If a simple forehand works best, because all that matters is you get the ball in. If you get the ball in, you win. Get the ball out, you don't win. So think about these things. This is a very important foundation of simple tennis, is the ability to do something over and over, be long-term sustainable, and the shot holds up even when you're tired and fatigued. Take a look at our book of mental focus. Take a look at our book of how to play singles, and take a look at these forehands again, and see which one works for you.
That weird forehand.
Easy.